Welcome back to the High Path channel, where you will find family-friendly, whole food, plant-based recipes that will inspire you to step out of the comfort zone. We also share all things desert gardening. We love to inspire everyone to get in their gardens, grow their own food, and enjoy the process along the way. It is officially fall, you guys, maybe more in some areas. We are still experiencing the 100-degree weathers in Nevada, but we're still looking forward to fall and cooler weather soon. This week on our channel, we are going to show you what we eat in a week. Because we are a large family, a lot of the times you'll see we just cook. We don't really measure anything. The goal is to get food on the table. Obviously, we have 5 kids and a very busy homeschooling schedule. We also run a small business, our goat milk soaps. If you want more information on that, go ahead and check out the links down below. So let's get into it. What did we eat this week? Let's go. On Monday for breakfast, we are doing a brownie batter baked spelt. Now, the original recipe I will have linked down below. It asks for oatmeal. Now, we decided to not do oatmeal. We are using rolled spelt, and we just cook it exactly the same. We mix it up and we poured it into a baking pan and put it in the oven. Out came this delicious ooey gooey brownie batter baked spelt. It was delicious. For lunch on this day, we decided to make some sweet potato and squash curry with some lentil tortillas. We just cubed up some sweet potatoes. We had some frozen squash, butternut squash, and we just add some mustard seeds, cumin seeds, curry powder. We added some water, and we are going to cook it down. We mashed it up to create more of a saucy, thicker curry, and we served it with our lentil tortillas. We've made our lentil wraps a couple times. You just basically soak some red lentils. You're going to add all that liquid into a blender with some seasonings, and you cook it on a griddle. These things are great for burrito wraps. You could do any kind of wraps, and we just used it just how it is, dipped in this delicious sweet potato curry. These are so simple, so quick to whip up. We will have the recipe down below. For dinner, we are going to have spaghetti squash and lentil bolognese. We used some soaked lentils, some onion, celery, carrot. We're going to add some water to cook this down, and we're going to season it up the way that you'd like. We also added some crushed tomatoes. You can add wine if you like. We did not. We also got the oven preheated to 450 degrees. We got some spaghetti squash chopped up, halved them, and then we took out the seeds. We're going to drizzle it with some grapeseed oil, some salt, some garlic powder, and we just baked it in the oven for about an hour. Now, when you cook with red lentils, you have to be careful because it does take a lot of water. So we just added some water here and some frozen spinach to finish the sauce. This is a great way to add as much vegetables as you can in your kids' diet. The kids really thoroughly enjoyed this. I enjoyed it. It was fantastic. On Tuesday for breakfast, we're just having some watermelon and walnuts. For lunch on this day, we had a few things happening. We have Mercy over here making some experimental nut cookies, and then I'm just starting a batter for our spring onion pancakes. A lot of Chinese restaurants serve this. It is basically just green onions stuffed in a flaky pastry. We also got some cauliflower air frying for lunch. And this is it. We served it with some sweet and spicy air-fried cauliflower. We made the sauce out of some Korean chili peppers, some sesame oil, some honey, and it was delicious. We also had these cookies on the side, and this was our lunch. It was simple and quick. We had a cup of tea on the side for our cookies to dip in. It was a perfect light lunch. On to dinner, we had soaked some lentils, and we are going to make some wild rice. Isaiah is over here helping with the seasonings. We put all these vegetables into a pot with the wild rice, and we just started to brown everything and meld all of the flavors together. We added some water, and we're going to cover it up and cook it on about low to medium. Right here, I am just checking on it. We are stirring it, and we want to get rid of most of that liquid right there. We don't really want a soup, but more of this texture. This also paired really well with our homemade salsa. We just topped it on the rice, and that was a cozy, warm bowl of wild rice. Some of us even had some romaine lettuce wraps for it. It was good like that too. Happy hump day, everybody! Today we're going to have some banana oat pancakes. This is the most simple blender pancakes. You add your bananas, your oats, some vanilla, some coconut sugar, a little bit of water, and some cinnamon, blend it up, and you're just going to make a pancake batter out of that. You can completely keep this oil free, or you can add a little bit of coconut oil or grapeseed oil as well. We love making these because they are just so fast to whip up, especially when you have really busy mornings. I also made a little bit of a dip. This is peanut butter and some honey, and we just cut up some apples, and that was breakfast for the kiddos. Today was quite busy, so I decided to make some oven stir-fried vegetables. I chopped up a whole bunch of vegetables, some peppers, Brussels sprouts, onions, cabbage, mushrooms, and I just added it onto a baking sheet. I rubbed all of the vegetables with some grapeseed oil, some sesame oil, coconut aminos, some garlic powder, and I'm going to stick it in the oven and let it roast. This is great for when you do have a lot of things to do for that day. You don't have to be over the stove stirring these vegetables. You could just put them in, walk away, and do what you needed to do. Check on it every 10 to 15 minutes. You can stir it up and roast it as long as you would like. We served this very simply with some quinoa and a drizzle of coconut aminos, and that was lunch. Wednesday nights are a little bit different. We actually take our dinner when we have to go to our doctor's appointment. So I am making a lentil curry here. It's actually inspired by a Southeast Asian curry called lontong, and it's got cabbage in it. It is somewhat like a soup, a curry soup, and you serve it on some noodles or rice. We added all of our vegetables, some curry paste, coconut milk, and we are serving it with some lentil spaghetti. I just packed our dinner, and we also had a few cookies for the ride as well. Thursday's breakfast. This is our apple and cranberry muffins. I just added all of the ingredients in a bowl with some chopped up apples and some dried cranberries and put them in muffin tins. I didn't use a recipe for this. I just simply used my intuition and instincts for cooking, and this was a great grab and go breakfast. For lunch today, we are just having a mushroom and cauliflower salad. This is one of our go-to salads. It's really quick and simple and really tasty. Grace found a recipe that she wanted to try, so we are doing that. We are making an orange chicken, but out of cauliflower, and we added some Brussels sprouts as well. We roasted the cauliflower with Brussels sprouts, and we topped it with a sauce made with orange juice, some ginger, honey, sesame oil, and coconut aminos. And this was our salad. We topped it with about half of the sauce, and the remainder of the half we put it onto our cauliflower and Brussels sprouts. We served the salad in a bowl topped with that orange chicken, or I should say orange vegetables, and it was the perfect light lunch. Our oldest was so nice to make a mango slushie, which we enjoyed for lunch too. For dinner, it was rather fun. We had a curried cauliflower patty. It's kind of inspired by the Jamaican beef patties, but vegan with cauliflower. We made a quick cauliflower and vegetable curry, topped it with some lemon juice, and on to making the pastry portion. We just used some spelt flour, and this is when the kids helped out and they enjoyed the process. We stuffed that cauliflower curry mix into it and just folded it over to make these little hand pies. We're also going to make a spinach pesto to go on our quinoa salad. This was quinoa, some cabbage, some zucchinis, and tomatoes. And here we have our spread for Thursday's dinner. Now Thursday night, we started soaking some split peas and some red lentils for the next day. TGIF. Today we are having watermelon and mango for our Friday's breakfast. If you have older kids, they can surely help with this. And our kids helped by chopping everything up and serving me some mangoes too. For lunch, we made one of our favorite meals, which is our Korean pancakes. We also served it with some sweet and spicy cauliflower. We started air frying some cauliflower and we're going to make a sauce for it very soon. To make the Korean pancakes batter, we used chickpeas. This is just ground up chickpeas with some water and sesame oil and a little bit of salt. We added some cabbage, spring onions, peppers, and we mixed it up into a batter. We then fried this batter in some grapeseed oil, and thumbs up for that sizzle. Now you can buy chickpea flour, but we just decided to grind up our own chickpeas. Once everything is done, let's plate our food. We have some Korean pancakes, some air fried crispy cauliflower, and some of that leftover quinoa salad. We also topped it with a sweet sesame dressing. This dressing was just made with sesame oil, some coconut aminos, and some honey. That was an amazing lunch. Wouldn't you want a bite of that? Trey is having a sprout salad with some herb dressing. We sprout all of our sprouts ourselves at home, and then all of the herbs used in this salad dressing was homegrown too. And for Friday night's dinner, we have another curry. This is our mushroom and lentil curry. You can see that we do a lot of curries here. We love our curries. We just added some vegetables, some mushrooms, and our red lentils that are soaked. We added our seasonings and some water to start cooking down the curry. We finished this very simple curry with some freshly squeezed lemon juice. You can use lime if you like, and then we topped it with some cilantro. And today we're just going to serve it with some roasted sweet potatoes. Shabbat Shalom. Today is Saturday. We had a frozen mango slushie for breakfast. So simple and so quick. After coming in from the garden, we decided to do a quick Saturday dinner prep. This is just daikon and cabbage soup with some coconut aminos. For lunch, we decided to make split pea falafels and some sweet potato fries. This is the second time that I've made it like this, and a little bit of an experiment. I used soaked split green peas. I really wanted to make something that is not a soup out of these split peas, so I blended it up with some seasonings and onions, garlic, and made it into a falafel ball. I then cooked them in the air fryer, and this is the first batch. However, the second batch was a little bit overcrowded, and it stuck a little bit. I then made a sauce out of tahini, some onions, garlic, and some lemon, and just drizzled that all over our split pea falafels. This sauce was the perfect pairing. It was tangy, it was creamy, and really, really good with these. This is the plate that was stuck a little bit, but we still ate it with this delicious sauce, and that was lunch. For dinner on Saturday, we just had this humble daikon cabbage soup and a side of watermelon. Once the soup was cooked down, this is what it looked like, and that was the best way to finish the day. Sunday's breakfast, we had a savory amaranth porridge and bok choy. We cooked the amaranth with some water, onions, and garlic and sesame oil with some salt. We then did a quick stir fry of this bok choy with some garlic and salt, and we paired it with the amaranth. This is the second time that we've had amaranth. The first time we had amaranth, it was a sweet version with some fruits, and this time we had a savory version. We cooked it, we topped it with some sesame oil, some spring onions, and that was breakfast. This breakfast was interesting. Now this is a sneak peek at what we had for Sunday lunch. I'm just gonna say that it was delicious, and I'm not gonna tell you more. You're just gonna have to watch the next episode. And for dinner, we're just going to have a leftover meal. This is Trey making a guacamole and wild rice taco. He added everything on our handmade, homemade spelt taco with some extra guacamole. This lunch was very, very delicious. We worked with a new ingredient that we've never heard of or even made or even tried. So it's going to be a really interesting video for you guys. We can't wait to release it very soon. So stay tuned, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification button because you don't want to miss out on this. Trey is obviously in love with this guacamole, so this is his dinner. On to mine. I made a bowl. This is just some wild rice. I also shredded some of this mystery ingredient. I'm not going to tell you any more. This was so interesting, and it literally looks like meat, you guys, but it's not meat. It's not. We're plant-based. It was so cool. Anyway, I topped mine off with some guacamole and some fresh salsa, and that was my meal. Oh, and I also did a taco as well with some leftover guacamole because our taco shells were very, very good. After our food digested a little bit, Trey decided he wanted some fruit, so he cut up some watermelon for all of us, and that was just the most refreshing and wonderful way to end the night. And that was what we ate in a week. We hope you were inspired and got a few ideas for your next plant-based meals. They are very simple. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel because you're not going to want to miss that next video. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
It literally tastes like you're eating meat. Feels like you're eating meat.